Okay, guys. How are you guys? How's everything?
Hi Daniel, how are you?
All good, Andre. What about you?
Good. Everything's fine, thanks.
Thanks for joining, guys. So I think in this session we could we could make a summary what happened during the week, make some analysis. Uh, at the moment, I do not really want to say uh, crazy new stuff. I think it would be also pretty nice, if we just make some analysis together and discuss a couple of ideas and things. um, I think we could probably discuss a little bit more about the standard deviations because some people told me that it's kind of confusing for them. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe we should discuss that, or it's up to you. We can talk about anything, to be honest. What do you
Why
guys
not?
think? Yeah, standard
We can
deviation.
talk. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, okay. Then you know what? I can even show you right away a couple of good examples. So I think first off, it would be kind of nice if I go into a little bit more details how I actually use this. So here's also another. This is also another pretty nice illustration. So if anybody remembers these trades on gold, like so the main idea with the standard deviation itself, just as a reminder. So you want to look at the standard deviations levels, and you want to use the amount of standard deviations until it would be aligning with something. So obviously, if it's not aligning with something, then you would like to you want to try to use two standard deviations as sort of the high and low of the day. So I actually seen like a couple of guys use this very well, like Leonardo, like when he had two standard deviation, he was like looking for the reversal. So that's the way you should do it. So let's say if you do not have any confluence and the boxes aren't aligning with anything, then the best is if you look at two and maximum three, and the very max would be like four. But let's say you can even use like one standard deviation, or you can even use half. So sometimes it's not even a full standard deviation. Sometimes you gotta use like only a half of it, and it would be basically like the same thing. If it's aligning with something, then obviously you want to use the half of it. And on this chart and on this picture, I think it's kind of a nice illustration of what's the main idea behind this. So if you guys notice, like here is first, obviously the range, and below the range, we basically had this, sort of like the supply demand or like a point of interest candle. And if you actually just pull these boxes down, then you will see that one standard deviation is obviously not aligning with anything. But if you pull down another one, then you will obviously see it's aligning, within this point of interest area. So then uh, logically you would obviously want to use two standard deviation. And basically what happens. Uh, so basically here, all that happens, the market comes to the one standard deviation right there. So that's where it makes the reaction. So that's how you would choose the level. The next one is, okay, let me just a second. So the next one, kind of similar thing. we basically had this point of interest area. So this was sort of like a point of interest zone. It was these candles on a different time frame. This was actually like a full candle. So now it's like 5 candles, but this was actually like a full body candle. And it's obviously like the point of interest zone for you. So you have like the zone, it's the order block or supply demand area, whatever you want to call it. And you will basically use the same thing. So you have the Asia range, which is right there, and you want to use these boxes, and technically you want to use as many until it's aligning with your point of interest. So in this case, we only went down 1, so that's 1 standard deviation. And if you check the level, it's basically right there. And a lot of times it's much more accurate, and a lot of times it's much better to take the trade on the standard deviation itself instead of using the supply demand or your point of interest area, because you can even see the difference. Because let's say you would be using the high of this point of interest area, then you obviously take the trade too high. If you use the middle of it, in this case the middle of it works, but if you just take the trade on the standard deviation level itself, you can see it's much more accurate. But in the next one, it's like probably the perfect example why you have to take the trade on the box itself instead of like on the high or like the middle. Because if you actually look at it, like the middle of it would miss your trade, right? So you just missed your trade. But if you take the trade on the standard deviation, you just catch the trade. So that's the best explanation to use this as the confluence. So in case this was still a little bit confusing for anybody, this would probably explain it how this works. Okay, guys, if anybody has any questions about this, just let me know.
Yeah, Daniel, if you look at the second example, I wanted to ask you why did you took also the week and not the body in the second example?
It's a good question, to be honest. Probably it was a mistake by me. But you know what, we can probably make another analysis for this. You know what, let's just go to the chart and check this. So you know what, just a second. So we can check this actually. It was the 50-minute. Okay, I'm gonna use a different provider because Wanda is not the best. The first one. It was probably a mistake by me. Yeah, sort of. If you put it higher.
And so basically the Asia range
So
we
the Asia
took
range.
only, yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So the A range, we took only the bodies, and then the standard deviation are just multiplied Azure range, the best are 2. And because I always confuse it with, I was thinking that the standard deviation is basically this range made of one move that took liquidity from the Asia range. In this case, we have the Asia range, and then there is this move to the down that takes liquidity, and I would take it as one zone, and that will be my standard deviation. But it's basically just multiplied Asia range.
Yes, that's what you gotta do. So basically for the Asia range, you gotta use the bodies. That's how it is giving you the good entry. But when technically you would use this multiplication, you wanna use the wicks. So right there, so that's the wick. That's what you wanna use, to be honest, and that's how you use it. But here on the top, right there, I'm still using like the body, not the wick. Body, see that? And on the bottom, now you would be using this right there. So then you're gonna use the wicks. So that's the correct way. But you can also, many times you can also like use this one, like say, all right, it's like not 1.5, it's not 2. Let's say it's gonna be 1, and you're gonna measure it like that. So you only go until the box itself and not the wick. So that's also correct. But I never had any problem with going to the wick itself. It's still working. But you have to do some backtesting on this, I guess, because I haven't really cared about this one. If it's the body or the wick, because it's like such a small thing. Because for like when you want to measure like an entry with the standard deviation, you must use actually the bodies of the range, right? So here you must use the bodies right there. But when you move it below like that, so you move it down, and technically you want to do these measurements, for the take profit. For me, I was always using the wicks, because in this case you do not need to be too accurate. But for the entry, it's much better to be more accurate with it. So the small detail. But yeah, that's my answer for it, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello, Dan. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can. How's everything with you?
Okay, sure. I have a question. In that case, you took that way because the Asian range wasn't swept above, right?
Yes, so this if you might remember, this was the trade actually, that was like 1,000 pip. So yes, this trade. So the reasons behind taking this long, there were like several reasons. Like one of them, this candle, I can even go to the 30 minute and show you. So I will make the full analysis and it will make perfect sense. So we had these two down close candles. We obviously had this market gap, but I didn't really care about it. On a different provider, this was like a full body candle, just imbalance, but here is the market gap. But I was looking at this order block, so I was pretty sure that this would work out. And obviously, if you check like the high of the range, it's obviously not swept, right? So we have liquidity here, and another reason for the buy was this here. So if you look at these candles, we basically have here the fair value gap in the market. So fair value gap usually would act like a magnet. So you want to imagine the fair value gap usually like a magnet, so it's like pulling the price to itself. So this was the main idea behind this particular long. Also like, I just put down the standard deviation like that, and also this order block, and basically that's it. Above it we had the fair value gap, and that's all you need. You have all your confirmations, to be honest. And if you want to measure this fair value gap, you can just go ahead, measure it like that, and you should see it's aligning with the fair value gap, or maybe the middle of it, something like that. But yeah, that was the idea behind this. So it was kind of simple, like, the Asia range is not swapped. We have this order block. So that was it. And, above the fair value gap as the pool of and the magnet of the liquidity. So that's like the middle of it right there. So this is like the half of the fair value gap, this level. And right there. And if you do the measurement correctly to the wick, I think it's just aligning with it. Yeah, it's right there. So it's the middle of the fair value gap aligning with the with this measurement. So yeah, this was the main idea behind it. So yeah, this was like the OB. So obviously here, if you like pull the fib, it's sort of just below, but it doesn't matter. It's like still working. So you can even take the trade here on the 62, a little bit of drawdown, bigger stop loss, but many times it's better to just sort of know where the market is going instead of getting the most accurate entry. So what I mean by that, you can even take this trade with the fib actually on the 62, to be honest, like that, or even here. And obviously like 170 pips stop loss is like huge, I know, but at least you catch the trade. But if you actually measure out everything very accurately, you can take the trade here from this level right there, and you can just place the stop loss below this order block. So it's like almost 50. But to be honest, it's kind of interesting because on gold, to be honest, I'm not even caring about the stop loss size on the gold. If I'm putting it here or here, it's like every time I take a trade on gold, it's only 35 pips. So it's like always, and it's never different. So I never had problems with the 35 pip stop loss. Then you can obviously use like your target, the fair value gap, which is just aligning perfectly with so the middle of it is aligning with the consequent encroachment right there. So yeah, this was the main idea behind it. But I still need to like upload the YouTube video. So I just have it. So to be honest, this is the YouTube video. I'm still working on it. I just edited like the videos together, and you can check it out. So it's like the full trade analysis. But yeah, it's coming for the YouTube. Just I always forget to upload this, to be honest. As basically it's like the live trade. And I also put in like the analysis. So I do the full analysis. So this is also like a good part. And you can see here, like here you can see here is kind of interesting. So it's maybe interesting to study this, because I was using the Asia range. Look at this. So I was using the Asia range without even finishing the Asia range. See that? So it didn't even finish the Asia range, but I used already the standard deviations. So you can probably see it. I used it, but I deleted it because it's like YouTube content. So I just measured it. See, I just pulled it down there, and it was the measurement. So yeah, but it's coming. And we also had here like the no break of structure entry. Never mind. So yeah, I won't waste time with showing the full video right now, but it will be on YouTube, so you can check it out, the full trade. Probably I will upload it. Yeah, so from here all the way up to here. Yeah.
Bro, don't share two sows for free.
What?
Don't share two sows for free.
For the YouTube?
Yeah, I know that, but it's better to keep the thing within us,
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, probably I was, because I had here like the standard deviations, so yeah, probably too many things are shown in this video. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah. You have a point. You say something, yeah. But yeah, now it's editing, so I'm editing the video, but but even if I'm not uploading it on YouTube, so if I would not upload it, then I will upload it in a mentorship. You guys can take a look at it very soon. All right. So and you guys, if anybody has any questions, just let me know. So I can explain any technical stuff. I can explain anything.
Yeah, Daniel, a quick question, not technical stuff, but about this copy trading thing. Basically, when you take a trade, it would be taken also on our MetaTrader accounts, or how it works?
There's like an application called MQL5. It's like the official website of MetaTrader, and there you can create like a signal service, and you can sign up, connect your account, and basically all the trades are connected to you. So I'm sort of thinking about it, but I want to see how many guys wanna join and do it. So yeah, that's my idea. I want to do it. At the moment, I'm not really thinking about asking anything for it, to be honest. I just want to do it because why not? And yeah, you're gonna see how it goes. But yeah, it's like an application, so you can connect your account. Yeah, it's kind of simple, but I will obviously help with it, so you don't have to worry about anything. I will help with it. But if your worries is seeing your account balance or something like that, no, I will not see your account balance. The only thing I can see, like, what's the total amount of money invested into the Signal service from all the users. So that's the only thing I see, but I cannot see the account sizes. But yeah, I will obviously give updates on that. So in the future, it can become a reality. It would be a good idea, to be honest, because at least I do not have to waste time writing the stop losses and everything in a group.
Yes, bro, I think this is the best way to do seniors, it's the easiest for us and maybe for you.
Yeah, but so let's see how many people want to join. If 100 people want to join, I'm gonna start it right away. But we're gonna see. It's for the future. Maybe from a few months from now, I'm gonna do it. So right now,
How many people to start, bro?
I don't know, probably 100. Obviously, I wouldn't do it
100.
for 10 people. So
Okay, so we will share some people to join and start soon.
yeah, something like that. But I try to think of like a solution. I try to think of like a solution where I can make money of giving my copy trading, but I do not want to charge anything for you guys. So it's sort of like that. I do not want to ask, to be honest, another penny from you guys. So So you guys already paid. I do not want to ask anything, but I want to come up with like a solution that I can still make it profitable on my side, and not just making charity out of kindness. So yeah. Yeah, I think it's more than 100. I don't know. We have to check Discord. I don't know. All right, guys. If anybody has any questions, I'm here. So.
Hey, bro, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How's everything?
I'm fine. I'm fine. A little bit tired because of late session yesterday, but everything's fine. For the FVGs, do you use them only on higher time frame to spot liquidity in the market, or do you use the FVGs also on the lower time frames like the 1 minute?
That's a great question. So far, I've been mostly using it for two things. One of them is confirming if an order block is high probability or not. So let's say you have a fair value gap and a order block. Then that particular order block would be high probability if it's above or below the fair value gap. If you have a order block looking candle without fair value gap, it's less probable. And I also look at it like sort of like a magnet. So here I have fair value gap. I look at it sort of like it's dragging the liquidity here. So it's just a matter of time and the price reaches it. It's right there. And here too, we had, and many times these fair value gaps are giving good reactions in the price. So you can even take trades from it. So we have another one here. So, it's like a magnet. When price was here, it was acting like a magnet. It pulled the price back in. Or we also have one here. It's also giving a good reaction. So it's pulling the price back in, and it gives a good reaction right there. Or, I can show you so many of this. It's like crazy. Or we even had this one. You can look at it two type of ways. You can use it as a possible area to take trades. See, so we have this fair value gap. It pulled the price in like a magnet and reacted. So that's how you have to look at it. So we also had, this one. It pulled it in. It reacted, dropped down, and it was obviously moving up higher because it was a bullish order flow, a bullish direction. But and also fundamental news, we had like the Russia-Ukraine war, stuff like that. But it gives like, it pulls the price in and it also reacts. Like here too, you can also take the middle of it. Just a second, let me check this. So, and if you check the middle of it, many times it will react to the middle of it. So it's actually called in a more formal way. I can write it here. Right there. This is the exact name of it, Tobena, just if you want to be more formal with it. So consequent encroachment, this is what we call the middle of the fair value gap. So a lot of times that's what's giving you the reaction. So just to keep in mind this word.
Would you say that higher time frame fair value gaps are more likely to be a stronger magnet than lower time frame value gaps?
Well, obviously, it doesn't matter what concept you look at. It's like every single concept on the higher time frame is higher probability than lower time frame. So yeah, that's obvious. So yeah, on higher time frame, it's obviously working better. I mean, this is, I think, yeah, 30-minute time frame, and you can see like every fair value gap you see around the chart right now, it was all working. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. Also here, you know, it sort of just gave a reaction, but you know, it's like not enough to use it as something to take trades on. So it's not every single time, all right, the market is arriving to the fair value gap and you're gonna take a trade, something like that. It needs like a certain ID and a certain narrative, and you know, like other confluences, like bunch of things. You can even use like the standard deviation. Like why would you want to use the middle of it instead of like the top or the bottom? Because in this case, like you see that the standard deviation is right there. It's aligning perfectly with the middle. The consequent encroachment is aligning with the standard deviation. So also you can use like fib levels. See, like the 70 is right there. See that on the middle of it. So now you have sort of like two other confirmations. You have the middle, you have the standard deviation, you also have the fib level. And then, you know, you can also use like other stuff. You could call this like a breaker. It's also around that area. So this candle is around that area. So, you know, you have to use like other confluences and confirmations for this. So, you know, it goes like for everything, like even if you check like a different pair, I think this one too. Here we have this fair value gap, and you know, this optimal trade entry was aligning with the fair value gap, right? So here is this candle, this impulse candle, and we have this wick and this wick, and technically you can see that it's perfectly aligning with the optimal trade entry. So then, you know, you would consider this fair value gap as you could use this area. Let's say you would take a trade from the bottom here, take a trade here, and you could use the fair value gap as a target because it's pulling the price in. And you could also use like the optimal trade entry as a target because it's aligning with the fair value gap. And it's likely for the market to arrive into this area and then make, I don't know, a reaction or something. So you know, you need a certain narrative for it. So, you know, we could look at some other stuff too, I think. Or this one. And you might remember that, you know, when the price was up here, I was like showing like an arrow, it to come down. And the reason why I was having this ID, because, you know, it was quite obvious that we have this fair value gap here. And we also have what? We also have this breaker right there. So, you know, this was my ID for the market to come down. So, you know, I was looking at it again, sort of as a magnet. So it was pulling the price to itself as a magnet. You know, it's still possible to push lower because, you know, we have like this breaker. We now have this liquidity here. And it's possible to push lower and arrive to the breaker. That's at the fair value gap level. So, like, you know, these are like the IDs you have to use. You know, probably if I would do like a measurement of the Asia range, we would probably find something too. So we have, let's see, maybe we can find also something. You know, it's possible to have 1.5 to push lower, but maybe something else aligning still here. You can see maybe 4, because this is really high, so probably it will be 4 or maybe 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it's sort of around this level. See, so even 4 here is possible to complete the 4, then give a reaction and then take out this high because it's liquidity. Yeah, so this is how you're gonna use the fair value gap. And you know, like you wanna take a trade from here, like you can even use like other ideas of why would the price push higher. Like if you take the trade from this 4 standard deviation aligning with the breaker, and, you know, sort of this area, you know, take out liquidity and move higher. Like what's the logic behind the price moving higher? Well, one of the logic could be, here we have the fair value gap in the market, right there. So that's the fair value gap. So, you know, you already have like a logic and the ID. So this is like acting as a magnet. So, you know, you sort of have this working as a magnet. So the price could possibly come down here and up there. And, you know, what's the other ID of why would the market come down here and then later up? It's also, again, like other confluences you could be using. Like if you look at the chart here, you can clearly see that this would be also, you know, market maker model. So that's also something that's possible. So, you know, these are like the ideas you have to use. And, you know, like you would ask yourself, all right, then if we have this market maker model, why would it make sense for this to push higher? One of them, we are in the model, and all right, if we are in the model, why would this model work? Because we also have fair value gap here. See, it's also pulling the price as a magnet. So this will be acting as a magnet. So you can imagine this is pulling the price here. You know, we can obviously say this is also like equal highs right there. It has to push higher, and the equal highs is just below the fair value gap. So, you know, these are the ideas you have to use, and you know, when you do something. So, you know, when you do some analysis, so these are the ideas you have to use. So, you know, you have to look at the fair value gap as a possible draw of liquidity. So it's acting like a magnet. It's pulling the price to itself, and then, you know, you have to look at other confluences. Yeah, so that's my answer to it. Okay, guys. No, guys, I think I will just end the session because, you know, it's Friday night. Probably everybody wants to enjoy his Friday night. I will also now go have dinner and take a rest. So I think we should talk next on Monday in 2 sessions. So let's talk on Monday, guys.
Yes, bro. Thank you.
Right,
Have
thank
a
you for
good
your
night,
time.
bro.
Sure, guys. Bye-bye. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much. Same for you. Bye bye.